it goes. Hey everybody, today we have ourselves a tree removal right next to some big power lines. So here we are, here's the tree. We're in the backyard of this property and the power lines run across the backyard of all the properties in this neighborhood. And as you can see, we've got a couple limbs that are up over those power lines. And normally that wouldn't be that big a deal. These are primary circuit lines, which means they can have as much as 30,000 volts in them. So when we go up there, we're gonna be super careful to maintain appropriate distance from the lines and make sure that we don't touch the lines with any of the ropes, tree sections, or anything like that, because when you're dealing with voltage that high, you can actually get shocked through the branch. And that is not a scenario we can afford today. I'm gonna go ahead and jump up there and we'll get started. Alrighty, we got everything set up. We got a rigging rope established up there in the treetop. It could be higher, but I don't think we're gonna need it. We'll see, we might have to move that. So, got another redirect set up right here. Got this notched, tied on. We're gonna swing this little piece down. I thought about redirecting off of that stem, but I don't want to swing it into those wires. So we're gonna do this here, and then it'll be a small enough piece we can deal with easier after we shorten it up here. Okay, here we go. We broke a dead branch out of that neighboring limb. That was not favorable, but it worked out okay. We just don't want to be doing that kind of thing. Now that we got the tip rigged off of there, we can just toss this down in a couple chunks here. That'll be quicker than standing the remainder of this piece up because it's just not real big or real heavy. Alright, so now we're right over top of these wires here, and these are two culprit branches that are kind of tough. Everything else up here isn't that bad, but these two branches make this tough. So we got a redirect for our rigging line. I'm going to go out there and tie it out on those limbs a little ways. I'm going to cut them back here. I'm going to do these two separate limbs, so that way they're smaller, lighter, and easier to manipulate. And besides, small pieces, small problems. Alright, we got our branch tied on out there, we got our redirect, we got our groundy on the ground there who's pulling the rope through the GRCS. That's going to allow him to pull on the rope to swing us over with no resistance from the friction device, but then when the weight falls into the rope, he'll have resistance. This piece is small enough he wouldn't actually need the resistance, but it's always good to give them fellows down there all the help they can get and not wear them out early. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this up with a handsaw. Alrighty, are you ready down there? Making the back cut here. Yep, go ahead and tug. Yep, keep tugging. Very nice. That was the longer of these two branches. It swung nice and clear. Okay, go ahead and lower that. The homeowner gave me a spiel about how he was going to rent a lift and do this tree himself. I'm really glad he's not doing that, and we are, because electrocution is actually the leading cause of death in the tree care industry, and it's just something that doesn't get enough respect. It doesn't care how much respect you give it. It's one of those things that's going to do what it wants to no matter what. All right, we got a little better position for this one, so I don't have to reach around it to make the cut. So I'll use a chainsaw here. You ready down there? Still gonna make the back cut with a handsaw. Go ahead and lean on it. Okay. Start to move. Ooh. We touched them, but just barely, and thankfully it wasn't a big deal. Another problem with primary lines like this is if you bounce them too hard, it can get close enough to each other and arc from one line to the next, and that's also super dangerous. Alrighty, we've moved our rigging point over to here. We're gonna send this top out down over that gutter line down there. It'll miss the wires, no problem. Then we can run it to the ground. You ready down there? Here we go. Very nice. All right, we got this piece of wood here tied on right there. We're gonna cut it off real quick here. It's gonna swing away from the wires like everything else has so far. There it is, you can go on down with that. There, look at there, we got some of them big old spotted lantern flies that are being invasive here. That one's dead. That one's dead. We'll do our part, killing everyone we see. Alrighty, we moved the rigging point down to here. Gonna rig this out and then that top as well. Ready down there? Well done, thank you. We're gonna make this stuff a little bit shorter by doing some more conventional negative rigging right here with our redirect. And then I think we'll probably stand some sections of this piece up with the GRCS. But let's get this out of here first. You ready? It wants to go. Oop, there it goes. Whoopsie. We're all good. No harm, no foul. Now that we're getting kind of back closer to a rigging point, I can have the ground guy lift this piece up and stand it upright, nice and gentle, and we can take bigger pieces with less forces. All right, go ahead and crank down there. Keep cranking, keep cranking, keep cranking. Very good. We're gonna do it again with a little bit shorter piece because the wood's getting bigger around here. Alrighty, now keep cranking on it. I missed a little spot. There it is. Well, that was a lot for this little saw. It certainly did it though. Still doing good on battery. I'll probably be able to finish this tree with just this battery. All right, we're gonna leave that alone for now, which may be regrettable. We'll find out. But Time to deal with this limb. This one reaches out over the sugar maple here, which makes it tricky because I don't want to just rig it down and destroy a bunch of branches here. So we're gonna tie the rope up in here somewhere, and we're gonna use the GRCS, that winch device down there, to pull this thing up out of the tree and then lower it in one big piece. We got our rope tied up there, goes up to the rigging block. We're gonna make our cut right here. We could make it lower, but that's just extra weight and we don't need that. This is kind of a big limb for our 1/2-inch rope system here. So we're gonna try and be reasonable. Okay, let me get away from it here for a second. Alright, go ahead and crank. Keep going, 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 keep going. Stop there. Got a lot of noise going on as we crush those brushy bits together up there. I gotta figure out how to get to a safe spot on this to cut it. This will work, I think. Yep, get me another rope out of the truck real quick. That put us in quite a predicament because it's got the tips leaned out over the wires there. I should have cut this lower so we had more base weight. But it's not that big a deal because we'll just be able to tie a tag line onto there and swing it around. Oopsie. Okay, walk that bag over towards the corner of the neighbor's garage. Give that a tug and see what it wants to do. There we go. Very nice. Keep going. Pull it, you have to walk up towards this way. Okay, they're not going to go any further for you. Hang on, let me cut this piece off so it's not in our way, and then I'll come down and help you. Okay, let me...
Thank you, sir.
Pulling this here, and you go over there and lower it for us. I can't see it, so you gotta tell me. Stop. There we go.
Thank you, son.
That's more what we wanted. Okay, come on down. Gentle, gentle. Hold on, stop, stop. Okay, on down right there. Well, that did not go to plan, but we salvaged it. This whole tree's kind of giving me some trouble. It's always the small ones that don't seem like they should be much trouble that give you a hard time. Can't underestimate your opponent. Well, that whole experience was a good example of trying to take a shortcut to do things a little bit faster, a little bit safer maybe, a little bit quicker, and it ended up just being more hazardous and possibly slower in the end. We all survived. Try not to do it again now, I guess. Alrighty, here on this one we're gonna swing it down right beside all these sugar maple tips. And ground guy's gonna let it run enough so that way it doesn't swing hard into the wires over there. Let it run, let it run, let it run. nice. That was perfect. We missed the garage roof over there by just a little bit, which is all we needed. Got that piece down there real solid. Well done. Alright, we got this limb right here. It's kind of in a similar position, not as close to the sugar maple, so we got a little more room to work with. We're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna swing it all the way down around. Alrighty, here we go. Very nice. Well, I've moved everything up a little bit higher, and this is what we have left. We're gonna cut this right here, negative rig it down. It's got good lean that way, so we're not gonna have to convince it to go that way. The only struggle is the wind is picking up and the wind's blowing that way. And that way we have wires. So we gotta wait until the wind dies, and we gotta send it at just the right time down there so it doesn't flow into the wires. Okay, the wind's down, here we go. Oh, that was really good. I'm afraid I blocked the view with my saw trying to stabilize myself, but I didn't even need to. That was so smooth. Well done, thank you. All right, now we got that top out. I'm gonna chunk the rest of this down, and then we'll pull the rest of the stem over. Alrighty, time to tip her over. Go ahead and pull on that. There it goes. Very nice. A little low on the back cut, but you know, cutting in the root flare, you'll have some stuff like that sometimes. Well folks, that wraps it up. We went ahead and cut things up for the customer here, so that way he can move it easier and get rid of it easier. He did want a couple large pieces left. He's gonna make some butcher blocks and stuff out of it, so that's super cool to see their tree get put to use for something else. It's always good to see trees getting a second life in another setting somewhere. So thanks so much for watching. I hope you have a great day. We'll see you on the next one.